जयपुर वाया कोटा।
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೈ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন. कृपया ध्यान दियो.
Delhi had salt, but Hyderabad got the spices, and Delhi completely forgot the winning recipe. That's what has happened in today's game. Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami Kher and I have Harsha and Michael with me. It was a game for them to win. I don't know what they did because they had a 112-run partnership. That's what the both of them had. At the 10-over point, they were 105 for one, and then the wickets just kept tumbling.
And the runs just kept stopping. It won't look as stark because the last over produced 16. But when the last over started, the game was long over. So it was the back that really had them struggling, where Markande and Abhishek and the others just closed the game.
Yeah, Michael, we see the fall of wickets here. So Warner went in the first ball, and then it was 2 at 112. But then we just see the continuous fall of wickets. So nothing. It was again that same scene from a film where you see David Warner, you see Saurav Ganguly, and you see Ponting sitting there with their hands dug into their faces.
Yeah, I think they'll look at the bowling as well because it was a big score to chase. But when you get off to such a flying start, and Salt was unlucky. That was a great catch, but Mitchell Marsh had just put the ball into the stands and he tries to do it again. I know it's T20 cricket and I know that the ball's got to travel, but I didn't think that was clever batting. Mitchell Marsh had to just take it a bit deeper. He'd already put the bowler under pressure the first ball of the over by hitting him into the stands. He didn't have to take the next ball that was a bit straighter. Clever bowling because he just bowled it a bit slow, but I'm not too sure Mitchell needed to take that challenge on the ball after. I'm also surprised. Axar Patel, left-hander, there's lacking a left-hander in that middle. You've got two left-arm spinners and you've got a leg spinner, which would have been spinning into the left-hander, and yet he comes out really when the game had already been lost. So I think tactically and strategically, I don't see Delhi operating cleverly this year. I just see that they're missing so many tricks. They're not kind of operating as a clever T20 team.
I was just looking up the numbers while Michael was talking. Now look at that. David Warner out second ball, and Akshar Patel comes in with 26 balls left. So for 92 balls, you only had right-handers batting. And as Michael was saying, that you had 7 overs of left-arm spin and 4 overs of wrist spin. And you had all those right-handers. I still think, though, with Salt and Marsh, they should have won it. If I'm in that Delhi camp, I'm thinking I got into a winning position, but I didn't have the batters to win from there. Who's my 4, 5, 6, 7? And 4, 5, 6, 7 are Manish Pandey, who's not having a great tournament. He's had a few good games. You got Priyam Garg, who's playing his first game. Sarfraz, who's been in, out. So today is probably an in day. And Tripal Patel comes in. Yeah. So I don't think they just have the batting. And yet at the start of the season, that was the one aspect. We're sitting here, all of us. I think the one thing Delhi have is a very powerful top order batting. I think what we missed out was it was a very powerful top order, as Michael said a little while ago, in certain conditions.
But, again, I'm just a rookie who doesn't understand this. As a fan who just sits out and watches something like this, you just wonder. I understand the whole left hand or right hand, the combinations, all of that. But just on paper, Akshar Patel has been very good. So why is he going down when you said 29 balls? That's all he had. So I don't understand the strategy of why you can't send one of your best batsmen up. He's been doing so well.
So we're in an era where the information that the teams have is more than ever before. They have so much information. They've got the data. They've got the matchups. The matchups, if you've got the ball spinning a certain way, you want batters with the ball spinning into them so they can just go with the spin, and you've not sent out a left-hander. The boundaries are tiny. So what you want right hand, left hand as much as you can, because you're just asking the opposing captain a lot of questions because you don't want the left-hander down with the ball spinning in, so you try and kind of protect that. And you're just going to confuse the captain with that combination. When he's just got right-handers out there, it's like, this is quite easy. Yeah. And 1 or 2 wickets on a pitch like that, because it did grab a bit, it was always going to make it a little bit. So one of Mitchell Marsh and Phil had to take it deep. They got used to conditions. They were playing great. It was down to one of that pair to say, OK, I need to be around the 16th, 17th over, not out, to try and see the game home.
And Akshar's batting better than he's had at any stage in his career. He's a very experienced cricketer. He's been around for a long time and he's never batted as well as he's batting
Yeah.
now. So he comes in now and he does what? 29 or 14, but you need 57 of 26. Nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's just unfair considering all that he's done. But, well, we don't know what the strategy is. They've got a lot of heavy heads and they've got all the matchups, like you said, all the data, but we don't know what went behind
Well, the
this.
strategy's wrong.
Yeah.
That's the fact. You know, they've got their strategies wrong. That's not clever thinking, not using the left-hander against the spin options that they were facing today.
Well, we'll have a look at what the bowlers did. We'll have a look at the bowling card because there was Mayank Markande who was very impressive. He got those two important crucial wickets. Abhishek Sharma got that wicket when they needed it. Of course, Bhuvi got the first wicket up early and then Natarajan got one. But like we expected, Natarajan to come in, bowl those slower ones. So slower ones were working today.
And great Yorkers. And he bowled great Yorkers in that last over, which is what he's always held back for. It doesn't matter how many he concedes in the first two. They always keep 2 overs for him to bowl at the back end because he bowls those Yorkers in. But the name there is Mayank Markande. He's having a dream season. And actually, Sunrisers have almost everything going for them in terms of balance. Everything going for them. Because they needed to find that one overseas bowler. Mayank Markande is allowing them all the options of playing the overseas bowler. So if you look down that, they should not be losing games.
Yeah.
I mean, they won today, but they really should not be losing games.
Yeah, you've been saying this since your preview.
I
You've been
know.
saying that they've got the best
Stuck record.
combination. You've got everything on paper going right, but it's just not converted for them. Today hasn't been that day, of course, because surprise, surprise, they have won today. Mayank Markande, like you said, has been consistent. It's been a great season for him. He seems to be someone who varies his pace around quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, clever. You know, he's obviously got the ability to spin it either way. I don't think he's an easy bowler to pick, so the batters have got that kind of feeling of which way is it going to be spinning. It's hard to hit down the ground when you're not too sure which way it's spinning. That catch that he got for Phil Salt, that was a beauty because that was hit hard and they were... well, the camera kept on going onto the dugout of Brian Laradale saying, they were like, oh no. You know, Imran Malik had just been hit for 22, I think. 22, and the game, from their perspective, was probably thinking, oh, it's gone. It's a game we should be winning, but we're getting hammered. So that was such an important wicket, a great catch. Just shows you hold on to those kind of catches and it does change the course of a T20 match.
Yeah, I mean, you spoke about the catch, but even Brook, he didn't get it, but that would have been one of the finest catches we've seen in I don't know.
Don't bother saying one off.
Yeah.
If he had thrown that up and come up enough for him to come back and catch it, simply because of the position he was in and the balance, he was sort of balanced when he had to throw it. Nowadays, we almost assume that those catches will be taken. It's one of the most remarkable things that's happened in our game. We think those catches must be taken. That was so tough. So if he had held on and thrown, it would have been the catch of the season.
And I also want to point out that when you see that replay of Harry Brook's catch, we spotted something that we'd never seen at a cricket venue before. The ball boy, so just beyond the boundary, the ball boy in a nice blue outfit was wearing a helmet.
Oh, really?
The ball boy. So that is the ground they were playing on. That even the ball boys were wearing helmets because they were scared of getting hit.
Well, really tiny boundaries is what is happening.
I've never seen a ball boy at a cricket match with a helmet on.
Well, next up we'll have spectators going in with helmets if that's
Sometimes
what's
it's okay
happening.
for spectators, but the ball boys, the ball boys are often sort of club cricketers or young
They're supposed to be
cricketers.
players.
Yeah. Very often they're young cricketers, 15, 16-year-old, 14-year-old kids who play at a decent level.
Yeah, well, they want to safeguard their future. We are all for it. Go and wear your helmets. We'll have a look at the points table because it was, well, that bottom dwellers playing today and Hyderabad's finally gotten off and they will go into the next month because they're at number 8. Well, we don't know where they go from here in the tournament, but they'll just be happy to be at number 8 right now.
I tell you what, see how the points table is. Tomorrow Mumbai play Rajasthan. Rajasthan start overwhelming favourites in that one. But if by chance Mumbai get their batting act together and they win that game, they go up to 8 points. And if they can win by a decent margin, they'll actually squeeze ahead of Punjab. And they could go into 6th place. It's just that close over there. But I think the top 4 are just drawing away. The top 4 are just playing better cricket than everybody else. And I'll tell you, same thing we discussed yesterday. At the halfway point last year, the teams that were in the top 4 finished in the top 4.
Yeah,
They're playing better cricket.
They are playing better cricket, but because Hyderabad's won today, we should celebrate them and take out
क्या खिला रहे हैं मेरे को?
क्या खिला रहे हैं?
Hyderabad में, I grew up, no, Hyderabad and all.
Michael's wondering what just happened, what language that was. But we need to...
I think I got it.
No, I grew up in Hyderabad and all.
Grew up in Hyderabad, or is that what you said?
Yeah.
And you have to
With
talk
just
like
a
that, no,
little-
shaking your head and you talk like that, then you're in Hyderabad, like Azharuddin used to talk like that.
Yeah, well, the great positive for somebody who's grown up in that city is that Abhishek will say that now this is my place, I'm not moving from here.
And he's bold also.
He's bold.
As the tracks get slower, dry heat, the Hyderabad ground will get drier and drier. So he should be able to say, look, I'll give you 2 overs every game. Keep me at the top. As a bonus, buy 1, get 2 overs free. I'll give you 2 overs, but put me up at the top.
Yeah,
But
he took that 1 wicket as well.
Yeah, but he batted beautifully, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he batted
You
well.
know, he was a standout. There was no one else really contributing until Klassen got out there, but he played pure. That was it wasn't an easy wicket, I don't think, particularly in the first innings. I thought he actually skidded on better in the second half of the game, but he played some glorious shots. And you always stand out. I always think if you're going to play well, do it when everyone else is looking pretty average, because you just stand
You just
out a
stand
mile. He stood out head and shoulders above the rest.
But where is Delhi going to go from here? Because it almost feels like every time Delhi plays, I ask this question. Because you feel like, okay, I mean, I'm still trying to wonder what the positives are for Delhi.
No, well, look at the players, they're not playing. Khalil Ahmed is not playing, Robin Powell is not playing, Roy Russo is not playing. They don't have a wicket keeper. Salt came good today, but you don't know if he's going to come good every time. There's a lot of players who are not playing, and the players who are, there's no middle order. There's absolutely no middle order. We thought that is going to be where, say, someone at 5, Robin Powell at 5 will maybe hold things together. Then Akshar bats at 6 or 7. Their problem always was they never had any batting after 7.
Yeah.
Irrespective of what combination you played, they didn't have any batting after 7. The impact sub might have taken care of that to some extent, but they needed Sarfraz to do well, or they needed Manish Pandey to do well. They needed one of those Indian batters to do well. You cannot win a tournament or be in contention if none of the Indian batters are doing well. Because you're only allowed 4 overseas. Inevitably, you want either a fast bowling all-rounder or a fast bowler, because that is where Indians are in slightly short supply. You can't have 3 overseas batters. The moment you have 3 overseas batters in your team, you're in trouble already.
But well, at least Lady Luck is shining on Mitch Marsh because he's gotten those 4 wickets. He's batted beautifully. So, at least in India, when most people get married and they go back and play a game, they get into great form. That's been the history. Not so much with Mitch Marsh, but he's finally come and found his form.
Yeah, I think that was a big performance for him personally. He'll be disappointed though, because I think he values himself to be there at the end and win games. And the fact that he didn't see his team over the line from the position of huge strength, I think he'll be disappointed. He'll also be disappointed with the shot. He was controlling, even though he just lost Phil, so he was controlling the game. And the Sunrisers were petrified of him because he was playing so well. He was hitting hard shots. He only had to be a yard either side of the field. It was 4. So I just didn't think he had to take that risk at that moment. He could have just taken it a little bit deeper.
When we were starting off, our producer put up this graphic saying that the overseas players have not performed for Delhi. So they watched our show and they said, we don't appreciate what your producer has done. And both the overseas players went and did their job.
Both Salt and Mitch Marsh. I mean, there's a case to be made here. Normally, you tend to give the Player of the Match award to someone from the winning side. And I think Abhishek Sharma did enough with the 3 overs that he bowled. But if you say, no, the Player of the Match is the player who performed the best, irrespective of whether it was in a winning cause or losing cause, the player who played the best today was Mitch Marsh. He got 4 wickets, he got a 60. So you'd be tempted to say Mitch Marsh was the Player of the Match. Phil Salt did well. If he can keep that confidence going, that's a big bonus for Delhi. But if you look at that points table again, they've got a long way to climb up from there. So maybe start playing for next year. I don't know if it's too early to start.
Delhi's problem was, how they finished last year as well. The last 7 games, they were poor. So it's not just this year; it's the end of last year, and I think that's a concern for Delhi because it's carried on. Their poor performance and the finish last year is carried on into this year. And Ricky Ponting and David Warner, they'd have expected so much more. All right, there's 1 or 2 players missing, but I think most teams have 1 or 2 players missing. It's just the nature of the IPL. They'll be hugely disappointed with their performance. And as I said before, you can play badly and lose. That's not an issue. It's when I see strategy's not right, and I see that they get the matchups completely wrong. I would, if I'm the owner of Delhi, I'd be concerned that the strategies and the tactics just don't seem to be right.
So they're almost losing at the drawing board before they get on to the field. Because
they need to go back to the whiteboard and just write a few new things down. You know, if the ball's spinning in, try and get a left-hander out there.
Well, there was another game which we couldn't really chat about too much because we came in and we
You
did
must
a
ask people
preview.
what happened in that game. These games come so thick and fast, you can't remember what happened in the earlier one.
Yeah, it's quite,
I'm going to go search for it.
It's taxing on your memory. Well, Gujarat won by 7 wickets.
Yes.
That's what they did. And Gujarat had a whole lot of people who said, I'm there, because Vijay Shankar came in, David Miller came in. There was Shubman who looked good. I think he got a 49. And he was really upset when he got out. But that one, I think, standout performer, like you said, Vijay Shankar is looking like a different person altogether this season.
You're going to laugh at this. But I just go to Twitter feeds of other people who are watching the game just to see if they've got any thoughts. And there's someone I know from the UK who said, I don't know enough about Vijay Shankar, but I think he could be the number 4 that India are looking for.
No.
And I said, no, that's not allowed on Indian television, on Indian digital media. We do not say number 4 in India, no.
Very touchy there. Yeah, it's how many years, Harsha, that we're still discussing this?
4?
Yeah, the number which we can't name.
No number 4, not in my lifetime. We're not talking number 4 again. But he batted beautifully. I mean, we're just digressing.
Yeah.
As I said that time, I think Miller provided the spark and Vijay Shankar finished it. So they've unlocked Vijay Shankar. He can bat at 3 as well, but Hardik seems to be enjoying batting at 3. So if he bats 3-4, that allows them to then play Miller at 5, Abhinav Manor 6, Tewatia 7.
later.
They've got all those big hitters at the back. So at the moment that order is working beautifully.
I also didn't mind Shubman Gill getting out in the way he got out, because they clearly have a strategy that if you get in and you can take the spinners down, you think you can hit them out of the ground, do it. All right, didn't come off today. He got caught on the edge, but I like that mindset that clearly the team kind of directives is to attack. Attack, spin, go for the big score, chase. They chased down the total with so much ease at the end. What was it, 2 overs to spare?
Yeah.
2.1 overs to go.
2.1 overs to spare. That for me is a team that's playing fantastic. That they chased down the total, with so many balls to spare. And they basically said to KK, by the way, that 180, you needed 210, 220. And we'd have still got that because we had another gear to go into. They're playing great cricket.
Which of those is a T20, global T20 superstar in that side? Yeah, Miller's a very good player. Hardik Pandya, very good player. Rashid Khan, genuine superstar. Go on. But the other 8, they're all pulling their weight. The other 8, Shubman Gill's a very good player, but he's not yet this mega T20 superstar. But everyone's pulling in their weight.
You were talking about how Delhi is, not getting their strategies right. And Gujarat is a team who's clearly getting it all right before they get onto the ground. Because even with Vijay Shankar, pretty much everyone in their team, if I go and read up, they'll say that we know exactly what our role is.
And there's a guy who's not in the side who's got a player of the match award. That is Sai Sudarshan at 3.
Oh, yeah.
And you
almost forgot about him.
And you ask around the Indian circuit, you ask around people who watch a lot of domestic cricket, and they say there's a young kid you watch for, keep your eyes open because he'll play. There's a very peculiar expression in Indian domestic cricket, call it days cricket. Days cricket means you're playing 4-day, 5-day cricket. You see, if you're looking for a days cricket player, he's your man. So watch out for him. And he didn't even get a game.
And to think that, I'm just going to say this because I'm a big Kane Williamson fan, but to think that it was all supposed to be Kane Williamson, from there, after his injury, it almost feels like, okay, we've got enough people to fill shoes in for Kane Williamson.
Yeah, I think they've just got everything spot on. I think the backroom team, the management, they've got great characters. Vikram Solanki is a really quality operator. Gary Kirsten, old senior head in there. You've got all these kind of combinations. You've got the captain, who obviously is very, very good as well. So I think when you see a franchise operate nicely on the pitch and they have a good auction, it's because everything behind the scenes is going nicely. Now, I'm led to believe that Vikram, his job is really to manage the owners, and then the coaches to do their work with the team, and he tries to avoid the combination getting together. That seems to me like a very sensible way to run a franchise team.
I mean, they let go Lockie Ferguson. He's one of the better T20 bowlers going. And I asked Ashish about it. I said, they let go Lockie Ferguson. He said, last year all the games were in Mumbai. All the grounds in Mumbai have bounce and carry and pace, so we wanted him. This year we'll be travelling around. A lot of the grounds, we won't need that extra pace. So we didn't need him. So we said, okay, thank you. And we got Josh Little in.
Yeah, and he's been very, very good under the radar.
Whoever's come in is seeming to do very well.
And if they wanted the pace, they already had Alzari.
Yeah.
So when they encounter a track that's got very good carry bounce, say they come to the 1K day, They'll probably play Alzari ahead of Josh Little. So they've just got the players for each slot in there.
Well, Michael, you see what I'm dressed in, so we have to talk about KKR as well, because the big positive was Gurbaz. But what happens to Mr. Roy? Because Gurbaz has performed so well.
They go out together. They go as an opening combination, and they both play the same way. So if you've got double trouble, you've got them both going at the same time. That's a destructive opening partnership. Gurbaz today was magnificent. Yeah. He just took him on. And his teammate Rashid Khan, I mean, he treated him as if he was just an average junior leg spinner. He hit him to all parts. So, that was great to see. It was also great to see a bit of Dre Russ.
Yes.
Dre Russ towards the end. You just saw a little bit of the Dre Russ of old. He's been lacking so far in this year's IPL, but it was good to see a bit of Dre Russ.
So if you get Roy in for, say, Jagadisan, then you've got to get an Indian in for some other overseas player down. And I'm just trying to think which.
Sunil Narayan is probably one
option. Visa goes out, and if it's on a turning track, then maybe you can play an Anukul Roy, or you find another Vaibhav Arora, or get Umesh back for a game or two. But they have the option with their setup to play both Roy and Gurbaz up at the start.
Well, this is the squad for Kolkata, and Harsha has pretty much told us who they can get in, but any more options there? They
can play either Vaibhav Arora or Kulwant Khejrolia or Umesh Yadav for David Visa.
Yeah.
But don't you think, I mean, I hope the producers have shut their ear, but considering it's pretty much over for Kolkata, why can't they just give Tim Southee a game?
And you never know, he might just come back and start bowling well.
The simple way to look at KKR, because they haven't played great, is what is working. Jason Roy is working, so you play Jason Roy. Gurbaz today, brilliant, he's working. So there's two. Sunil Narayan, actually at the minute, he's not been working. So if it is that Sunil has to miss out, it's just the time that he's in. He's just not playing great. He's had an iffy few games. If you get on a crusty wicket, and of course he plays, but if you get on a decent wicket and you think, well, you can do without, he might be the one that misses out.
And it's okay. Sometimes we look at the big players and say, but how can you drop them? It's not an insult or a crime, whatever. You're not playing well enough, so sit out, someone else will. You play well, you come back in. It's nothing wrong in being left out occasionally.
Well, to all the KKR fans and to everyone in the Cricbuzz office, I really hope that we see lots and lots of wins, because we want Kolkata to win. It's always fun. But we need to move on to what's happening tomorrow, because it's going to be a super Sunday and we have two games. First up, we have Chennai playing Punjab at the Chepauk, and well, when Chennai goes to Chepauk, we know how much they love playing at the Chepauk.
It's a different Chepauk. It's not one of those 130, 140 Chepauks. It's playing much better. And see how immediately Chennai have adapted their side to playing 200 games. Chennai were the perfect 140, 150 kind of team. Then they had all their spinners. They'd play the 140, 150 kind of team. Now they realize this year Chepauk's not a 140, 150 ground. So they've adapted. They've released Ajinkya Rahane. You keep your ears closed. We'll talk about him afterwards. But Devon Conway is batting beautifully. They've released Rahane. Ruturaj Gaikwad is batting well. But the big change is they've empowered Shivam Dube to go up there and just say, go for it. Because below you've still got Moeen Ali, you've still got Jadeja, you've still got a sub in Raidu, you've still got batters to come. Go and do what you want. And then if it comes down to that, the old man at the knees will come out and hit a few.
We're all waiting. We all keep waiting. He just doesn't come.
My gut feel is he's...
Oh, no, don't say it.
No, he's not finishing, but he's saying, okay, you all go. You're the future. You all go and bat.
Yeah, but we still want to see him come back once. The future is there. We'll see them in the future. But, it could be his last, second last, third last.
He went to Kolkata and said, next year, these same people will come back wearing purple. They're probably wearing yellow because they want to say goodbye to me.
Yeah, he said that.
He didn't say in as many words, but that's what he said. So.
But, with CSK, when you see the squad, it's almost like, well, nothing to discuss here. Because they go with the same people, they don't like changing anything, and that's pretty much how Dhoni works.
Yeah, and against Rajasthan, they were poor. And MS said it after the game, we just said in all disciplines, we just didn't play well enough. It was just one of those evenings. I talked about it at the time, that in an IPL season, when you're playing foot, it's very, very difficult to be switched on in every single game. I think they've played really well so far. They've got everything covered. I'll be amazed if they don't bounce back tomorrow. Punjab are the ones of the two teams. Chennai have had a real good run of it with all their players. You don't really look at Chennai and think there's any of the players out of form. I think they're all in decent form. Whereas Punjab, you look at them and you think, well, there's quite a few of them out of form. So it's going to be more difficult for Punjab, particularly, going to Chennai on the back of being, what did they go for, 250?
56 runs that loss.
So
It was a big loss.
The bowlers might have had a couple of sleepless nights thinking about the 256. So that is something that they have to get right. I look at the Punjab team on paper and I think it's got quite a lot of good stuff, but they just don't seem to consistently put it together right.
Yeah, Matthew Short is in and out. Harpreet Brar has been in and out. Rashid Dhawan's been in and out. And funnily, the fast bowler, I was told, watch out for, by the Harpreet Singh Bhatia has been in and out, Rajapaksa has been in and out, so there's been a churn. The bowler I was told to watch out for before the tournament by some of the journals and the others around was Vidwat Kavirappa. They said, tall, big bowler, he bowls quick, and it's Vishak Vijay Kumar from the same stable who's actually come out and got games. I won't be surprised if tomorrow, it's an afternoon game in Chennai, I won't be surprised if Dhoni just says, give us a scrubber. Afternoon game, gives a scrubber.
Bit of a...
At most grounds, home teams are not getting the tracks that are ideal for them. But there is only one man who decides everything over there. So I won't be surprised if you just get a little scrubber, 150, 160. They might play Santner. If you remember early on in those middle overs, Santner's actually bowled beautifully for them.
Yeah.
They might just get Santner in, Santner, Jadeja, get a bit of Moeen Ali and say, okay, we'll win with these today.
But do you think Punjab tactically went wrong in the last game? Yes, it's a very big target, but not getting Livingston in, this is something we keep discussing. Pommy was talking about the other day, just get your best players in first.
Livingston came late, Jitesh came even after. A lot of their big hitters came so far down that by then the game was over. I mean, it might be interesting for me to just pull out that card and see. Livingston came at 5, didn't he?
He came at
Livingston
5, he came
batted
after
at 5.
Raza, yes?
Yeah, he batted at 5. And Raza played out of position at 4, didn't he?
Yeah, he came at 4.
But again, these are the kind of things that you highlight that it's just not clever thinking. I keep highlighting that, when a T20 team is operating well, it's so obvious what happens because it's just there. We all know the matchups. And when something like last night, when they go a bit deeper, you go, well, you're chasing 257. Get your big strikers out there as soon as you can. They need to face a lot of balls to get anywhere close to that target. Well, they go over 200, but again, it didn't look right in terms of the strategy of that batting lineup.
Even with the bowling, if I remember correctly, I think they saved Rabada and Arshdeep to the end. So the first 10 overs, they were just going crazy, but then, it was too late.
Now that you say so, in the first 10 overs, Karan bowled 1.
Yeah.
And Arshdeep bowled 1 in the first 10 overs. It's almost as if they were saying, we need people at the back. But by the time they came to the back, there was nothing left,
But probably the only positive was Atharva Taide. He got, I think, a 66, if I remember correctly. But they would want, captain to come to the party because when Shikhar plays, everyone's almost like you said, they set it up. We need a Shikhar Dhawan to set it up for Punjab.
Be interesting to see what kind of surface they present though tomorrow. I don't know why. I've just got this hunch that Dhoni might say, "I'll pick up the 2 points. I'll play the kind of track I want."
It's not the right time of the tournament to lose 2 on the trot. No. So he'll definitely want everything in his favour.
If the ball stops and turns, Dhoni's the chef. Dhoni just knows what angles to set, what fields to set. The moment the ball stops and turns, it's Dhoni territory.
Well, it is Dhoni territory, but
he said he didn't pick up his gloves between 2 IPLs.
He's a freak.
I said, is that? He said, yeah. I said, don't you have to praise it now?
Yeah.
He can do what he wants.
It's Dhoni. He's got the magic wand in his hand. He just does things and they work. But if you all have to, magically choose your 2 players for tomorrow, who's it going to be?
I might go Jadeja. Because I think I've got this thing in my head now. It's not going away.
It's going to be a turner.
Yeah, so I might go Jadeja. Ruturaj gives them a good start. Conway's in tremendous form.
I'm going to say Conway to find. But he wasn't at his best against Rajasthan. I think he was 8 off 16 in the power play. So I think he'll put that right tomorrow.
And from the other team, there's CSK. There's another team play.
Yeah, Punjab. I'll keep backing him. Liam Livingstone has to come good.
For you, Harsha?
Maybe Sam Curran. He's played at Chennai before. They need to use him a lot more with the ball.
Okay, we'll wait and watch. But there is another game which we will quickly preview in because Mumbai take on Rajasthan at the Wankhede Stadium. And,
Game number?
This is game number 42.
Oh, but game number 1000 in the IPL.
Yes, it's
It's a
MI's
1000th.
game number 1000.
I think it's 1000. It's not. It's a
Oh,
1000th
it is
game.
the IPL's 1000th
IPL
game as
game.
well.
1000th IPL game.
Now, is the game's dedicated to Rohit, is that right? Because
It says 150th game as captain
Yeah.
of Mumbai Indians.
Yeah.
And well, it was Andy Russell's birthday today. He came to the party. It's Rohit Sharma's birthday tomorrow.
Is
so we
it?
can
How old is it?
expect the hitman to
36?
5, I think.
35? 36?
So we can expect some fireworks from the
He'll
hitman.
probably say age is a number. The moment people say age is a number, it means there's too many numbers.
Well, this is the Mumbai squad.
So that's such a good batting order. You see the top six. If the top six are firing, that is some batting order. Rohit, Ishan Kishan, Surya Kumar Yadav, Cameron Green, Tim David, Tilak Varma. Everybody in Indian cricket saying Tilak Varma is the next player. So that
Nehal
top six.
Vadera in the last game was
he
very
batted brilliantly.
impressive.
Nehal Vadera. They've left out Ritik Shokeen. He's not a bad player. It's just that they don't have who is that bowler. Now, if Jofra Archer is going to play tomorrow,
Yeah, I think he'll play.
Yeah.
I get a sniff that he might be back tomorrow night. So, yeah, it's the bowling. I mean, it's also the hardest, with Bangalore, the hardest ground to bowl on. So you need really, that batting's great, but you'd almost want the opposite at the Wankhede. You need your bowlers to be absolutely high quality. And if you lose a little bit of confidence with the ball in hand and you're bowling on that wicket with that boundary where the ball just seems to fly, it's not an easy place to bowl.
what is your thought on if you've got a Kagiso Rabada in your team, you've got a Jofra Archer in your team, your captain? Are you giving them the first over and say that's when the batter's most vulnerable? Go and bowl the first over?
Yeah.
Or do you just bring them in 4th over, 7th over, 11th over?
Yeah, I think it's overcomplicating life when you start using a Jofra Archer in the 4th or the 7th, or we're just waiting for that middle period. Try and get out the traps and win the first 2 overs.
That's what I thought.
I believe T20 cricket. Whoever you feel is the best 2 bowlers for that surface, for that moment, they bowl the first 2 overs of the innings, just to try and get yourselves a wicket or 2.
Well, and that's what Rajasthan does because they don't want to complicate things.
They
They
throw it
just
to
give it to
Trent
Trent Bolt and say, go for it, and he'll come in the first over and take that wicket. That's what
And
he's
Trent
been
Bolt
doing.
is up against the side where he really
yes.
came into his own.
Yes.
Where was Trent Bolt was playing up at Rajasthan? No, he's now in. Where was Trent
He's
Bolt? Was Delhi.
Rajasthan. He's
Trent
in-
Bolt was at Delhi.
Yeah.
He was very unhappy at Delhi. He wanted to move. The word is that Brendan McCullum was going to take Trent Bolt to Kolkata. That didn't happen, and literally over a half-hour water, Mumbai swooped on him, and he gave Mumbai 2 fabulous years. That Bolt-Bumrah partnership was fantastic. He's now coming back, and you know what it is, the top-order Indian batters, left arm,
Left
swinging
arm.
it in.
It's the 4 number. We don't
That's
want to
the
talk
second
about
thing
it.
we don't talk
We
about
don't
after
talk
number
about
4.
it.
Left arm swinging into the Indian batters, right? We don't talk about that.
Well, he'll definitely be back. He missed a game against Chennai. You would think. I mean, Zampa was excellent.
Yeah, he got 3 wickets. So I
3
wonder
wickets.
how
He might miss out tomorrow night because Trent Bolt certainly. I saw him in the pool today. He's fine, but I think he's fit. So
So they've got to play Butler. They've got to play Hetmeyer.
yeah.
Then
Jason Holder.
will he come in for Jason Holder? And they just back Ashwin to bat at 7 and say, okay, we'll use an impact sub to go out and bat somewhere.
Yeah, they could do that. They could do that, but I just think Jason Holder is. Sounds bizarre, but the Wankhede, I just think you need tall fielders on the boundary.
Correct.
I think you need
That's
him on
a
the
first.
boundary. He might catch a couple.
Yeah, well, Mumbai has a Tim
It's a
David
fair
and Cameron
point,
Green,
actually.
so maybe Jason Holder for the boundary line. That's a first, all right.
How many has... You think of 1K, you think of Kyron Pollard, you think of him hitting
Yeah.
big shots, but you think of him catching everything that's flying in that area.
Tim David goes
Tim
down.
David
that.
does
He
that.
did 4 the other day. He got that 1 run out on those 4 catches.
Tim
so.
David, Cameron Green in Mumbai, he's got a fair point. You need those tall guys catching the balls on the boundary.
But well, pretty much everything is going Rajasthan's way this season. They're playing very good cricket. But I remember you saying that MI's got something going for them tomorrow in the green room. Why were you saying that, Michael? What do you think? What is this prediction that you came up with?
I still back Rajasthan. But MI and Rohit, thousands of games. Rohit's game because of his 10 years at the Mumbai Indians. There's a little bit of sentiment tomorrow for Mumbai. Rajasthan have got an entourage. I'm in the hotel and the Rajasthan Royals entourage. They've taken over 100 rooms, so they'll have a bit of support. The Pink Army are arriving at the Wankhede. They'll be in a little section. They're ready for it. But I think Mumbai will have to play some to beat Rajasthan. Rajasthan have got everything covered.
They've got everything, and if they win tomorrow, I think they go to the top of the table. We'll have a look at the points table to see what happens. Rajasthan is at 2. So if they win against MI, they will be at the top.
Yeah, but they'll have played an extra game, but yeah, they'll still be on top.
And it's almost like everyone wanting, but like you were talking about, if MI get in these 2 points, they go to that 8 number. And then for MI fans, well, anything can happen.
If they get to 8, okay, where are Mumbai? Right at the bottom. They go 4 and 4 from 8. Then they've got to win 4 of their last 6 to get through to 16. But you never know if Lucknow lose a little bit, Chennai drop 1 or 2 here and there, can 14 points with net run rate take you along? You don't know. The second half is always about jostling for those little points. And I think with Gujarat and Rajasthan, they have the problems with the rich.
Yeah, you just look at the table. Punjab against Chennai. Punjab wins tomorrow. That really does clock it up.
I know.
Punjab go to 10.
They go to 10.
Level with Chennai.
Yeah,
That's that tomorrow afternoon game is a big one.
Because, like you said, when you go to the 12, it's at comfortable space, right? Where you feel like, okay.
Think of the RCB fans if Punjab win tomorrow. It's close.
Dear.
It's close. Lots to play for.
Yeah, lots to play for, but your 2 players to watch out for from MI and RR.
Rajasthan Butler at the Wankhede. He loves
He's actually had a lean run last 4 games. He needs to come out.
He loves batting here. So I'm going to go Butler.
He's had a lean run last 4 games. I want to see now, Yashasvi Jaiswal has done a bit of heavy lifting. I'd like to see how he's now living up to that reputation. Also, former England captain told him, like, you've got a great future. So the added burden of...
He's one of my favourites.
Yeah.
Yes.
I went and told him today.
I know, and I think that's going to get him all charged up. It's not going to be pressure. I think it's going to be all charged up to know that Michael's going to be watching him on Cricbuzz Live. So it's going to be just
I'll go Yashasvi.
Okay, so Butler. So you've got the opening pair covered. And from MI?
I think Tim David. I think Tim David's going to have an impact tomorrow.
But it's a birthday boy.
Oh, you want Rohit, don't you? Should I say
It's a
Rohit?
birthday boy.
Yeah, okay.
They need Sky back in form.
It's, sorry,
They
Sky.
need Sky back in form. Sky plays well. He's just taking that team another 30 runs.
Well, I'm
As
going
I
to
said,
go
at the
with
start of
Rohit.
the season, there were 2
Yeah,
players I was excited
Let's
about.
just say Rohit. It'll make her happy.
No, I mean, it's all right. I don't usually take part in this game, but it's the hitman's birthday, so I'm going to go with Rohit all the way. Let's see if this works, because, well, they like to play on their birthdays. Well, we have to get to that point where we
But they have to have a cake put in the face. That's what they like. They bring cakes, don't they, over here? Why'd you do that?
I don't know. I hope
You have a
that
lovely cake and then
I hope they're discount cakes.
No,
And the real good cakes are eaten.
But I see it all the time on social
What a
media
waste.
where they put a cake and then they put it in the face.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
I don't know.
Just eat it, you cut it up and
It's
just eat it.
They're just
Why do you have to
traditions which people follow for generations and generations.
Wasting
That's all
cake?
it is.
just ruining a good cake? It's like champagne, when they spray champagne. It's just a
champagne.
waste. Just drink it. Expensive stuff.
Oh dear. Well, let's have a look at Mr. Joy Bhattacharya's question and see who got the answers. We've forgotten about this entirely. It's been a long day. Yeah, it's been a long day and we've forgotten about it. But which cricketer in this league has played 9 ODIs, of which he was on the winning side in 8,
Could
and
it be
then
an
9
Afghanistan
was
player?
no result due to rain.
Could it be someone from Afghanistan?
I don't know the answer, so I can't give you all any clues. You all can go ahead
I wonder
and
if it could be someone from Afghanistan, and they've played a lot of ODIs against UAE and someone won a lot of those.
No,
He's playing in this league.
you don't know.
okay, the clue is that it's an Indian.
Only 9 ODIs. He's playing in this league. It's not someone like Amit Mishra or somebody. Okay.
I have no idea.
Ishant Sharma.
Okay, wild guesses then.
Okay, come on.
Let's go. Let's see what the answer is.
put it up. You should have guessed from Joy. It had to be.
Bengali, connect. Ridhiman Saha is the answer. India never lost an ODI match which he played.
Why didn't he play more?
Why did he play more?
Well, World Cup squad number 4. Should I say it?
I didn't think Saha had played 9 ODIs. Okay, well, good on Saha.
Well,
Good on Saha. Him and Dhoni are still the best keepers in the
definitely.
best keepers in the IPL.
I'm sure we've got maybe some Bengalis in the house who've given us this answer, but if they haven't.
Sid win.
Oh, wow. RCB fan 01. Congratulations. Congratulations to you, Sidwin. Congratulations. And this is the first time that we have seen your name, so please keep them coming because we
RCB
love
win
new
something.
names. Yeah. Ouch. I hope you didn't hear that. I hope you didn't hear that.
And if you did, he said it.
No, I can't say it. Harsha said it.
No,
That
he
wasn't
said
me.
We'll just beep it out. No one said anything on this show. It's that time when we're saying things which we don't mean because it's almost reaching 12. So it's that time when we need to say good night and goodbye and need to say our thank yous. So
You've done pretty well actually to finish before midnight.
yeah, I think
It's
because
just
the
that we
players
started yesterday or the day before.
but
I
they
feel like
all
I've watched about 30 games. Should we go and watch another one?
yeah, it feels the double headers always feel like you've gone on watched.
He actually watched 3 games, you know. He actually watched 3 games. He was watching a
the
football
football.
match on the other
Yeah,
side.
it was.
Well, Michael's had a very long day because he's also had a lot of paddle tennis that he's played. So we need to really let him go because he's had a long, tiring day. You have a long, tiring day tomorrow because you
just
take
one
a
game.
flight.
Tomorrow, just one
Oh,
game.
no flight,
It's
just
in
one
Mumbai.
game. Oh,
It's in
easy,
Mumbai, just
easy.
one
He's
game.
got an easy day.
He's got an
Yeah,
easy day.
just one
Maybe we'll
game.
get him in as a third guest for the first game. So he doesn't feel like, oh, I'm not
You know,
working
when,
enough.
when she first started anchoring this, she was so respectful. on day one, she was so
No,
respectful.
it's the respect. It's the
It
respect
wore
of
off very
wanting you.
quickly.
It is the respect of wanting you in our studio.
No, I think
That's
it's that,
the respect.
I think it's that producer in your ear who's
No
winding
producer
you
in
up.
my ear. We just genuinely love you in the studio. So 1/3 red chair and we'll have him for the first game.
Yeah.
I can find another chair for you.
It was a comeback. It was a weak comeback line, but it's okay.
Okay, but thank you so much for today because it's always wonderful to have you all on long days. Michael, I'll see you tomorrow and
See me day
you
after.
can enjoy your half-day break that you'll get tomorrow.
I'll see me
Harsha.
day after again.
Yes, I'll see you day after. And everyone who watched, thank you so much because there was rain, there was a whole lot of things that happened today, but you all stood there with us. So thank you so much. And well, join us tomorrow at 3 p.m. because you're going to have 2 exciting games. Go and get some sleep and rest, and we'll see you at 3 p.m. Good night and goodbye.
Jaipur via Kotla,
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲು
चेन्नई Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। कृपया ध्यान दो